Hey, what's going on, YouTubers? This is DK Betts coming at you live and direct from the studio. Hey, I know everybody's sitting at home. A lot of people, the kids are driving them bananas because they're at home, with nothing much to do. So I decided to make a series of videos just showing some of the basics of drawing and how you can use the basic shapes and how everything is formed from these basic shapes when it comes to two-dimensional forms and three-dimensional, actually, just in a different format. So we're going to get started here. And I'm going to show you today, we're going to focus on the circle and how the circle is an integral part of drawing something like an orange. So we're going to get busy here. All right, hold on a second. Okay, so right here, what I have is a obvious drawing of circle, square, and a triangle. There's another shape, which is the rectangle, which is nothing but a square elongated. Okay, so we're not going to get caught up in all the semantics and details. What I did was sketched out a little orange here. I don't know if you can see this, but we're going to work on another one. So I want to show you how the basic shapes fit. I already drew this outline of an orange. I'm going to show you something right quick. The basic shape of a circle, you can use this to portray an orange. Okay? So I don't know if you can see this, but inside, or rather outside of this, which is actually the shape of the orange, you see that circle fits nice and neatly in the center here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, doing these videos, I'm not going to use any fancy equipment, just gonna stick with the basics. Basic pencils, basic ink pen, no special paper. It's a sheet of copy paper, okay? I'm gonna use this orange as my model, okay? To model my orange. So we're gonna start out with laying down our basic shape for the orange. So instead of my stencil here, I'm going to use something that everybody has. You can just grab a top, a cap from a bottle, something like this cup. And take the top off. Use it to make a circle, okay? Or if you have some drawing tools, you can actually use your compass to draw a circle. So we're going to do something that's just a little easier. Just going to use this top. What I'm going to do is draw a circle. Actually, I want to use a larger. I want a larger. I'm going to draw the circle, okay? We're going to manipulate that circle so that at the end, we're going to have a nice picture of an orange, okay? So I have my circle here. I'll close this up. We all know that the orange is not a perfect round shape. So what we're going to do is just keep it simple for today, okay? Now this particular orange is a navel orange. But we're going to use this side, a little bit more interesting, with the flower here. This is the end of the flower actually for the orange flower, and everything buds off of it as the orange grows. So just looking at this little area here, you're going to keep everything basic shapes. Okay, we're going to draw a little four-sided star shape. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the center for this area here, just draw a little circle. Okay, it's already starting to look like an orange. All right, and what else you see on the details here is these lines. Okay, so these lines are the wrinkle that are in the orange itself. Okay, we're going to use some of those lines in order to portray some depth and some volume so that the orange won't look so flat. All right. We'll draw this line here. Okay. The line doesn't have to go all the way back, right? We're just portraying some realism, okay? Some depth. Another one here. Looking at my orange, another one here. And what I'm actually doing is curving the line, because let me show you what happens when I draw a straight line. Okay, if I draw a straight line on this side, instead of making a curve, I drew a straight line. Now it looks as though it flattens this out, right? So I don't want to do that. What I want to do is follow what's called the contour or shape of the orange itself. The orange is round. I want to make sure that that is portrayed in my drawing. So what I'll do is erase that line. Okay. I'll put a little curve on it. I know the line goes, orange goes around here, going back. Okay. So I'll take my line, just put a little curve in it. All right. Same thing on this side. Line here, put a little curve, and we'll do another one. I'll put another one over here. Okay. Now we know that the orange is not a perfect circle. So in looking at the orange itself as I'm holding it, right, and I'm looking around the outside edge here, you see I got a little dip right here, right? What I could do is take my pencil line, all right, and just put a little dip in it. Just put a little dip in it, all right? Nothing complicated. We're gonna make this simple, okay? Going around the edge, when I was drawing it, I had little bumps in the top that I use. Great. I can go around this side, add a couple of more dips. All right. Here, add a couple more dips. And then what I'm gonna do is come back. This is a mono eraser, which is one of my favorite erasers that I use. It's a fantastic tool. I said I was gonna keep it simple. So I'm gonna use a regular 2B pencil eraser. Okay. Go back, erase that area. Everywhere I put a little dip, I want to erase that area, because we all know that the orange is not perfectly round, right? And down here toward the bottom, okay, I'm gonna have the light coming. Okay, another thing tool that you can use to portray volume, right, in drawing an object is to show the contrast from light to dark, all right? So what I'm gonna do is use this side here for my shadow, this side here for my shadow. Light's coming from this direction, from the right. It's gonna fall over the top and go around the orange and hit the surface. So this side is gonna be a little darker than this side. This side here is gonna be light. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit more detail to this orange, okay? So we know that oranges have a lot of little dimples in them, right? All over the orange, right? So in order for us to make this look a little bit more realistic, I'm not gonna put all of these. We'd be a while if we sat down here and portrayed every one of these little divots and little dips in the orange skin itself. So we're just gonna put enough in to show that this is an orange, right? Just a little detail. So what I'm not gonna use normal regular shapes. I'm looking at the orange itself. And a lot of these are not perfect little circles, so some of them are little dips, right? If you want, hey, you can sit down and put your little circles, okay? You want to keep it simple, you can use circles. It's no problem. Put some out here. Now, if I did not wish to use to cover this, right? So in other words, take it from a line drawing to something that's more three-dimensional, then I would use, use the pencil, cover the whole thing, or maybe cover part of it, and then show the contrast from light to dark by using different shades of contrast from light to dark. So in other words, if I have this square here, right, and I want this square to look a little bit more three-dimensional, right, what I'll do is light's coming from this way. This side here will be shaded, okay? This side here will be shaded. So this side of the orange is going to be shaded. So I could do that in a number of ways. I could use the pencil, right? Hold it like this, right? Side of the pencil. Slightly go back and forth, all right? It's not rocket science, man. Drawing is easy. Anybody can be taught to draw, but how an artist sees, that is what cannot be taught, okay? That's what can't be taught. Another one of my favorite tools, the Qtip, all right? So if I were going to portray this in a realistic fashion, right? And I know that the light was coming from this way, going over, it's gonna fall over the top of the orange and go around. I would portray it as such. Also, this portion of the orange is sitting closer to the viewer than this portion. So what I want to do is make sure that that's what it looks like, right? If I'm portraying this realistically. If I'm not portraying this realistically, then I can use other little tricks and twos, little tricks. Going. So since we're not going to use I'm just going to leave it as a line drawing for the day. So we're not going to do any shading inside of this orange. Just going to leave it the way it is. All right. If I want to put a little shadow to make that orange come off of the page, I can just use parallel lines. Use parallel lines. The only thing that these lines have to follow the contour of the object. So what I don't want to do is have the lines way out here and some weird shape way out here, right? You keep the shadow close. You keep it close. I'll show you another. I'm gonna erase this right quick. I'll show you another look where I'm just using parallel lines, literally, not so close together. Okay. I'm gonna add a little make a little cartoonish. Can even draw a line around that, mimicking the shape of the orange itself on the outside. So now someone knows, hey, there's something going on that side of the orange. I'll do something called cross hatching, where your lines go in one direction, then you come back in the opposite direction. All right, and you just keep working it. Keep going around. Okay, and what it does is begins to pull this orange. One thing you should pay attention to, whatever the side your shadow is on, that edge, you want to make it a little bit darker. Because as you can see, what happens is it starts to blend in. Though this is different from this light to dark, you still want to keep that edge of the orange. So just draw it a little bit darker, right? Just draw it a little bit darker. Okay, I said I'll keep it simple today. So I'm going to continue to work on this orange. So you can put as few or as many dots, or rather dimples, in your orange as you want to. right? You can fill it with these little dimples if you wish. It's on you. One other thing. These contour lines here, they go inside, or rather they take a little dip here, inside of the orange. Take a little dip. So just like the light bends around the orange to create this shadow here, also inside of here, or rather underneath, because this is lifted up a little bit, on this side you also have a shadow, all right? So you put your little contour lines in there also, all right? Me, I normally just like to use a straight back and forth motion for my shadows, and then come back with my Q-tip and blend it, because it looks a lot smoother. So if you can get a Q-tip, the kids out there, get a couple of Q-tips from moms, can come back once you're done with your cross hatching, and just hit it like that. And just keep working it. Yeah, and some of the lines are gonna disappear, that's okay. The shadow normally goes from dark to light. So in other words, the closer it is to the object, it's gonna be darker. And then it begins to fade. As the light bends around the object, hits the surface and it bounces up, right? Away from the object. Then you take your time, draw your little circles in here. I don't want to get too detailed on this orange, so I just want to make it nice and simple and plain. Just to show you that, hey, you can take a simple shape, a simple circle, and you can sit down and draw any object you desire is made of the same basic shapes of a circle, a square, triangle, and the rectangle. So this is pretty much as simple as it gets. And I know me, if I sit down here and I continue to work on this, I'm gonna start making it look more realistic, and I don't wanna do that today. I wanna keep it simple. Okay, so there's a picture of your navel orange with the flower side up versus the navel. I'll see you guys again on the next section, where I'll show you how to do something else with the circle. Okay, so for now, y'all take it easy. Keep drawing, stay busy, stay safe out there. All right, have a good one. Peace.